What up, everybody? Happy Sunday. It's Anthony Does Real Estate, aka Anthony. I just wanted to tap in today and give you some tips on how you can save money and things to look for when buying a new construction home. So, a new construction home is going to be a brand new home nobody's ever lived in. You're going to be the first family to do so. So, while you're scouting these builders, you want to be aware of some things just to make sure that you're doing your due diligence so you get the best deal at the best price, the warranty, and all the things that you should be entitled to. Okay? So before we get started, make sure you like and subscribe, share this out to make sure other people save money as well. I know a lot of people are getting into real estate, buying their first home. Super excited for you. So I'm here to help guide you through that process. And make sure you stick around to the end. You know, I always have a word for you from the Lord. And so while we're spreading tips and helping my people with buying and selling real estate, I'm also spreading the gospel, making sure my people are saved, people are being fed, and understanding and knowing the word of God. Okay? So appreciate y'all for tapping in today. Let's get started. All right, so the first tip I got for you is to do your due diligence, read the reviews. So you go to any builder out here, I'm located in DFW. You go to any builder, they're going to tell you their service is great. They got the best product. Any business is going to tell you that. They're top tier. This is where you want to be. Buy from us, right? But you want to make sure you're checking to see what other people are saying about that product, about their quality of the build, about the neighborhoods that they're building and the areas that they're building in. So you check Google and see what other people are saying. Recent homeowners. Even check the neighborhood app, which is very good. So if you're looking in an area, you can look at people posting on the neighborhood app in that specific area that live there, and they talk amongst each other about different things or aspect of the neighborhood that comes up. But that's a great place to start. Don't take everything, take what the builder says at face value, but do your due diligence first and just see what other people are saying just to make sure that you're not being led astray or being given honey and they're giving you all the sweet words that you want to hear and playing off emotions. But you're actually getting real world experience from what people are saying. And you can even check YouTube for that as well, because there's YouTube videos and reviews about builders also from people's experience and sharing what's going on with the home or what didn't go on in the home and just how great it was. So check those reviews first, just like you would any other business. So that's tip number one. All right, so the second tip is going to be to hire a local real estate agent. Case in point, that could be me. I would be happy to help. I help a lot of families with new construction. But I say that because you going into a builder's office and selecting a home without a realtor doesn't save you any money. The money that they're going to pay commissions to the realtor, they're not going to give it to you. They're not like, okay, so you didn't bring a realtor, let me just give you the money they would have got. It doesn't work that way. So it's already budgeted in. So they're just going to keep it and apply it somewhere else. And so that's money they saved. So, and then the second part of that is because the realtor works for you. So when you go into a builder's office, they're selling a specific product or service. But at the end of the day, the builder has bills to pay. They're trying to stay in business. They don't want homes sitting. They're trying to get things sold just like you would at the car dealership. They don't want this car sitting there all year. So they're trying to get them sold. When you come in, they're on you. So as a realtor, I'm supposed to do the due diligence and go in and see what things are they offering. Are they offering any incentives? Oh, they're offering any incentives because sometimes you go into a builder, tell them, hey, I want this floor plan right here, the driftwood plan, just for example. I want this floor plan right here. Blah, 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 blah. What price is that? Okay, so this price is going to be this, such and such, such and such. Okay, so they tell you that, they tell you the price, but they may not mention the incentives they got going on. So what I do is call ahead and find out, hey, what any specials are y'all running or giving out to your clients? And a lot of them are still paying, $10,000 to $20,000 in closing costs. Now, if you don't bring that up, some will go ahead and mention it, and some won't. So if you imagine, if you don't mention like, hey, ain't y'all, giving out, $10,000 in closing costs? Oh yeah, that's right. We sure are. I forgot to mention that. You may not find out, and you might not find out until after you bought the home and moved in it. And so I'm supposed to find out about that, what incentives they running, so I can save you some money. Because if they're paying closing costs, then that's money you can keep in your pocket and pay toward down payment. Or if you're using a no down payment loan, like a USDA loan or a VA loan, then that's money you never have to spend. You can use that toward buying new furniture and stuff once you move in. And then also we have to check for things in the contract like escalation clauses. So what happened in around COVID time is it was so busy. So builders were trying to build houses as fast as they can. and supply was running low as well, like materials, like plywood, brick, um, and then also the labor was shooting through the roof. And so what builders were doing were they had escalation clauses in their contract, which a lot of people didn't know. So even though you signed for the house to be 325K, they had an escalation clause in there, like, hey, depending on the price of the materials and the labor that we need. If we're out of this certain material and we have to buy it from somewhere else, or we have to have stuff on back order, then the price of your house may go up. So even though you signed for 325, I've seen people houses go to 350, 375 easy with those escalation clauses. So I find out if it's in there and can be taken out, or we just, if they're not going to take it out, then we just don't mess with that building unless you just really want to take that chance. But yeah, people have lost money and tried to pull out because their houses went up 25, $50,000, and then they no longer can afford the house either. The house that was 325 is now 375, and they was pre-approved and can barely afford the 325. So now they're out of a house, can't even get the house anymore. And so I'm supposed to check for things like that, as well as other things in the contract that may come up. You know, earnest money. If you put your earnest money down, like some of these homes or lots, if you go pick out a lot at a builder, they're going to want some earnest money. They want some due diligence. So you may put $1,000 down, but I need to know, is that money refundable, or once you put that $1,000 down, is it just set in stone? So if you pull out, emergency happens, or you change your mind and you get relocated for work, do you lose that $1,000, or is that refundable? Most of them are refundable, but that's a question we need to ask up front to make sure you're not going to lose that money on the back end, just in case something changes. And so, as a realtor, I ask all these questions that the common consumer may not ask, just because it may not be brought up or just may not know. You know, my first home, there's a lot of stuff I didn't know. I didn't know ask for closing costs. I didn't know what incentives were unless they told me. So my job as a realtor is to do that. Okay, so that's tip. Tip number 3 is to ask if there's any spec homes available. So a spec home is, say you walk into a builder, let's say Grand Homes, and you pick out a house. Pick out a house that you want, like, oh, I want that lot right there in the corner. I want the corner lot. I want this floor plan. I picked out all my fixtures and finishes and type of floor, the colors I want. Pick out everything, right? And so your house is being built over the next 6 to 12 months. House is being built just like you spec it out to be. And then something comes up at the end. Maybe you lost your job and then you no longer qualify for the house, or you got to relocate your job, you get promoted and shipped to New York or something. Or tragedy happens. Things happen within 6 months to a year. Anything can come up. And so in that time, the house that you had customized and you had paid on your earnest money down to reserve it, you no longer are going to get that house anymore. So you bag out, get your earnest money back if that's the case. But now that house sits there. It's that's what it's called, a spec house. It's a house that's already been built and somebody pulled a contract off and under it, and now the house is just sitting there. And usually those houses are discounted a little bit more than the homes that they had built up and been reserved for somebody. So say Tom over here had this house built for 325, and now that house is finished in 12 months and it's still 325. But there's somebody over here that may have a little bit better finishes and maybe a little bigger floor plan, maybe a little bit bigger home. Same, and it could be cheaper. It could be cheaper than the 325. That doesn't happen all the time, but usually those are discounted so they can just move quickly because now they're just sitting there built. They're ready to go. They're ready for somebody to move in. They got electricity and stuff on and water in the house. So now they just need to get this house sold and on to the next person. So we ask for spec homes and we go check them out because usually we can get some pretty good discounts on the spec homes. I've seen them come down 10, 20, 30K on a spec home easy just because they want to get it sold. And it's just sitting there ready to go. So we ask and see what spec homes are available. So that's tip number 3. Tip number 4 is going to be, once you sign on a home that you want, even if it's a spec home or it's a home you're getting built, always do a third-party inspection. So people already do this on pre-owned homes during our inspection period, whether that's 3, 5, or 7 days. And when you're doing a new build, they have what you call like a blue tape walkthrough, and that's where you go through with their inspector, their builder, and kind of pick out points that need to be fixed, defects. Maybe it's like chip paint, or this ain't painted over here, or this light is out, doorknob is working, the door is sticking over here, it's jamming. I missed a spot over here. There's a hole in the carpet. Water's not running over here. It's leaking right here. So you go through that with the builder, and what I tell people is, that's fine and dandy, but the builder's rep works for the builder. You need somebody that represents you. And so you hire a third party inspector because they're going to go in, they represent you, just like you hire a lawyer and the lawyer represents you in the case. Same thing with a third party inspector. You're paying the inspector on your behalf to find any and everything that they can what's wrong with the house. And you're going to get a full report on that. And that's stuff that you may not see during the builder's walkthrough. Because the builder walkthrough, you don't go on the roof. You may not even go in the attic. They're not gonna check the level of foundation and show it to you. But on third party inspection, they do all of that. They check water pressure, make sure there's no leaks. They go in the attic, they go on the roof, make sure ain't no missing shingles. They go check foundation, make sure it's level, no slopes. They check out any erosion around the foundation. They check all of that. And then that's on your behalf. So that you get that report, a full report, and then that's leverage for the builder. Like, hey, my inspector pointed this out. I didn't see that through the blue tape walkthrough, but it's showing right here. So can we get that fixed? Can we get that fixed? And so I just tell people, just go ahead and get it. Of course, you're going to do an inspection with the builder during the process, very close to the end, usually like a week before closing, or maybe even the same week. But hire a third party inspector to work on your behalf to make sure your best interest is at heart, and may find things that you don't know that is covered in your warranty. So that way you can go ahead and get it taken care of. But if you go through that walkthrough with the builder and you just don't see it, you just miss it. And so that may come up 3 or 4 or 5 years down the road when it could have been fixed right off top. Okay, so that's tip number 4. All right, 5th tip. Tip number 5 is going to be ask about the builder's warranty. So a lot of these new homes come with warranty. That's another reason I tell people, instead of buying a pre-owned home, buy a new home. If you don't want to worry about things happening the next couple of years, because you get brand new appliances, HVAC, dishwasher, the fixtures, everything's brand new. And then also on top of that, you get a builder's warranty, and a lot of them are 1, 2, and 10-year warranty. First year is usually like defects you can see, like a chip on the wall, or a nail pop coming out in the ceiling, or something, or like a socket not working and stopped working for some reason. So it's like physical defects you can see. You start getting a leak over here, and usually within the first year, I tell people to go ahead and call that warranty department and get all that stuff handled the first year, all those physical defects. And usually the second year is like your HVAC, your major appliances, things like that. So you got your 1 year, 2 year, and then your 10-year will be your foundation. So if anything happens within that 10 years with that foundation, you call the warranty department up, and boom, they come out here and get it taken care of. But it's all covered up in warranty. If you buy a pre-owned home, there is no warranty coming with the home. You can pay for one and order a third-party warranty, but when you do the new build, those are fairly good. And like I tell people, like 10 months into your first year into the home, because you got to use it within the first 365 calendar days for the 1 year. So any physical defects, just go and check everything. Just make a list. Go through and make a list like you would do when you move into an apartment. You do that inventory and condition form, and they tell you, hey, anything you see that needs to be fixed, go ahead and write it down and get that back to us, and we get it taken care of. Usually you got 3 days to do that in the apartment. Same thing with the builder's warranty the first year. Make a list, keep tabs all year. Boom, boom, boom. Something happened, boom, make a list. About 10 months in, go ahead and call that warranty department and tell them what's going on. They'll send people out there, call the trades, and get that stuff taken care of within your first year. So it gives you peace of mind more than anything. That's not stuff you really have to fix unless it's just super easy. But it just gives you peace of mind because it's already covered. You already paid for it. So just go ahead and call the warranty department and get it knocked off. Okay, so that's tip number 5. All right, everybody. So that was the last tip I have for you. So if you have any questions, you can give me a call before you step into any of these new build communities. Give me a call, text me, email me. That's what I'm here for. I would love to represent you. But if you just got questions and just wanted to reiterate some things, let me know. Reach out to me. I'm here to help. I want you to save money and have education when you're stepping into these new places. Just to make sure you're not being taken advantage of. and just you have some leverage that you can use. You walk in there fresh and not really know what's going on. People can tell you anything. And so, not saying the builders would do that, but education helps a long way. Knowledge is power, right? So just make sure that you got what you need to be successful and reach your home ownership goals. Okay, so before we leave, I always do a verse of the day or a verse for the video. And so the verse today is going to be Luke 19:10. For the Son of Man came to seek and save the lost. And so this one is very special because a lot of times people think they have to be perfect to go to God. Like, oh, I want to go to God. I want to start going to church and praying and stuff, but I got to get my life together. I got to do this first and I got to quit doing that and blah, blah, blah. But if you look at it, when Jesus came back, he wasn't hanging around the Pharisees and the scholars and all these uppity and people who thought they knew the Bible and knew the word back and forth. He hung around tax collectors and Peter was a hothead, Judas betrayed him. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't the people that you would think. It was the people that you wouldn't even look twice at. You wouldn't even give them a chance. And so same thing for us. None of us are perfect. We all go through things. We all have things happen. So no matter where you are, he will meet you where you are. If you're going through a divorce or you got family that's going through stuff, or maybe you're going through some tough situations, just call out to him and he will answer you. He's waiting on you. He's not going to push you. He's not going to force you, but he is ready with open arms whenever you're ready. So he came to seek and to save the lost. Luke 19:10. So don't ever feel like you're not good enough to go to God. You're not good enough even for yourself. You're here for a reason. You have purpose, and to find out what that purpose is, you need to talk to him, and he will lead you and guide you in all your ways. All right. So God bless y'all. Hope y'all have a terrific Sunday. Hope this video was helpful. Remember, like, share, and subscribe. I plan on giving y'all more content and getting better at it with the animations and things like that. But we're gonna get better. Time goes on. You kind of, it's like on the job training. You get it as time goes on. So, but anyways, signing off. Peace.